there's something about Berlin I really liked.
Well,
Yeah.
I have a very stupid question, but perhaps you can answer it properly. Why is it that all this beautiful music keeps coming from the north?
I don't know. I don't know. I think there's also coming a lot of good music from, very beautiful music from other places actually. So, but I don't know. Do you mean like there's coming a lot of singer-songwriter music from Scandinavia? Yeah. But actually it's not coming from Denmark, I think it's coming from Norway and Sweden. So it's not coming from where I'm from. But I don't know, I can't answer. I don't know enough about it, I'm sorry.
Do you consider yourself to be part of a Scandinavian music tradition, perhaps?
Yeah, maybe a little bit in that way. I really like a piano player from Sweden called Jan Johansson, and he interpreted folk songs, old Swedish and I think also Russian folk songs. And for me, it sounds like when I have to think of some music from Scandinavia, then I think of his music. He made a record called Jazz på svenska, so it's like jazz in Swedish. And I kind of grew up with this music, and my parents loved it too. So I think in that way, I feel like I'm inspired by some of it.
But more inspired by music from Norway and Sweden than from Denmark?
Oh, but no, but this music is also very Danish somehow. For me it is, at least, because it's been played very much in Denmark, and whole this way of something very simple, jazz and a little bit folk-oriented music is for me also Danish, and I know a lot of people play it and like it in Denmark too.
And when did you decide it was time to leave Denmark?
I think it was when I was in Berlin the first time, and I really fell in love with the city, and then I thought, okay, maybe I should give it a go and see if I can make it there as well. So yeah, it was in 2005.
But before that visit, were you already thinking about leaving your hometown?
Yes, I remember sometimes I was thinking about it.
Why?
But it was because just remember when we had in our old flat out in the stairway, we had a big world map, and then I always thought, okay, it's a little bit weird always to stay in the same place the whole time, you know. So I had thoughts about going to another country at some point.
Mm-hmm. You chose Berlin, but you could have chosen Amsterdam or New York. Or
Yeah.
Why Berlin especially?
I don't know, there's something about Berlin I really liked. It was so weird and different, and I couldn't really figure out the city, because it's like a big city, but it's also like a village somehow, because all the small areas are very green and people are so relaxed in a village kind of way. And it's cheaper in a not very city way, you know, because everything in the city is kind of posh and expensive somehow. And yeah, it was city life and urban life in a new way, and I kind of wanted to try it, you know, to live like that instead.
What were your first weeks like?
The first week, I arrived and then I had to start at a German course. so I was actually just with other foreigners, my first weeks in Germany, with other students. So
you lived in a house together? Yeah.
No, I lived in a VG with my boyfriend, but I was going every day to German classes.
Okay.
This is what I remember. And then I got what's called bronchitis, because it was so humid, this place we lived. It was really unhealthy, so it's actually not a very good memory.
So you learned the German language. That was the first thing you did when you...
Yeah, I already spoke a little bit German. You know, you learn it at school in Denmark. And yeah, I had to learn a little bit. I knew I had to. So yeah.
So those first weeks weren't lonely at all, because there were all these other foreigners.
No, actually the first half year was not lonely at all. I was hanging out with some other Danish people, and I was discovering the city, and it was really interesting time. It was more like the next 6 months after that I became a little bit lonely. My boyfriend went back to Denmark at some months, and I was totally alone in the city. And this was when I started trying this of being in a new city where you really are foreigner, you don't know anybody, and sometimes you really have to eat alone, you know, you have to do things alone because there is really nobody there.
Was that hard? Are you the kind of person that needs other people around to feel happy?
Yeah, I think so. I think everybody does, but it was also a good thing because it made me do new stuff and try out new things, and it was really good for my music also because I had suddenly much more time to work alone, and it was an ideal situation to sit down and really focus on the songs and this kind of work. And I needed to be alone, needed not to have too much influences from other people.
Mm-hmm.